The rain hammered against the windshield of Sarah Collins' patrol car. She Max sat in the darkened parking lot of Piedmont Park. It was 2:47 a.m. Atlanta's streets had finally quieted after a chaotic Friday night. Max, her 6-year-old Belgian Malinois, rested his head on the center console, his amber eyes reflecting the glow of the dashboard. "Good boy," Sarah whispered, scratching behind his ears. 7 years together. 7 years of drug busts, minutes, e saving lives. They did become more than partners, they were extensions of each other. Her radio crackled. Unit 47, we have a 10-34 at a sharp knock on her window. Both Sarah and Max snapped to attention. A man stood in the rain, immaculately dressed in a tailored charcoal suit despite the downpour. He was older, perhaps early 60s, with steel gray hair and piercing blue eyes that seemed to calculate everything in an instant. Sarah's hand moved instinctively to her sidearm. Max released a low growl. The man smiled slightly, held up a leather credentials holder. Even through the rain-streaked window, Sarah could see it was Native American. She cracked the window an inch. "Can I help you, Officer Sarah Collins?" His accent was refined British. "My name is James Bond. I need 5 minutes of your time. It's rather important." Sarah's heart skipped. James Bond. The James Bond. Everyone in law enforcement knew the legends, even if most dismissed them as spy fiction. "Am on duty?" "Am where?" "This won't take you long." He glanced at Max, who had to stop growling. "Impressive partner you have there. That's actually why am here." Against every protocol screaming in her head, Sarah found herself unlocking the door. Bond slid into the backseat with practiced ease, seemingly unbutchered by Max's continued surveillance. 7 years with the Atlanta K-9 unit, Bond began without preamble. 43 successful apprehensions, 12 commendatures. "You've never lost a suspect once." Max caught the scent. He paused. "You also have an unusual talent for reading situations before they escalate. That warehouse incident last year, you evacuated your team 3 minutes before the entire structure collapsed. How did you know?" Sarah's jaw tightened. "Instinct." "Precisely." Bond leaned forward slightly. "Officer Collins, am retiring. After 30 years of service to Her Majesty's government, I've decided it's time. But before I do, I have one final responsibility: choosing my successor." The words hung in the air like smoke. Sarah's mind raced. "You can't be serious." "I've never been more serious about anything in my life." Bond's eyes locked onto hers in the rearview mirror. "The world needs a new 007. Someone with courage, instinct, and unbreakable bond with a partner they trust absolutely. I've been watching you for 8 months, Officer Collins. You hit the one. Am a K-9 officer in Atlanta. Am not a spy, assassin, agent of international espionage." Bond's smile was thin. "Neither was he, once. We all start somewhere." He produced a manila envelope. "Inside you'll find a chiming location. If you he interested, come alone." "Well, you and Max. If you he not interested, bone eating forget we ever met. But I should mention there is currently a situation developing that requires immediate attention. The kind of situation that will cost innocent lives if the right person does not act." Sarah took the envelope with trembling hands. "Why me? There have to be hundreds of qualified candidates." "Thousands," Bond corrected. "But only one with your specific combination of skills ain't it?" He nodded toward Max. "In the modern world of espionage, technology is everything. But sometimes, Officer Collins, the best technology has 4 legs and a heartbeat. Max isn't just a dog, he has an advantage no one will see coming." Bond opened the door and stepped back into the rain. "You have 24 hours till the siege. Choose wisely, both our worlds depend on each." He disappeared into the darkness before Sarah could respond. 22 hours later, Sarah stood outside an unmarked warehouse in an industrial section of Atlanta she'd never patrolled. Max sat at her side, alert but calm. She'd told her sergeant she had a family emergency. She'd told her sister she was working a double shift. The lies tasted bitter. The envelope had contained only an address in a time, 11 Policial Militar. At exactly 11, the warehouse door opened. Inside was nothing like she expected. Banks of monitors lined the walls, displaying feeds from what appeared to be cities across the globe. Many women in tactical gear moved with purpose between workstations. In the center stood Bond, now dressed in black combat gear, looking 20 years younger. "Welcome to the American branch of Missei's operations," he said. "Officially, we don't exist. Unofficially, we hid the reason several major terrorist attacks have been prevented on U.S. soil over the past decade." A woman approached, tall, dark-skinned, with calculating eyes. "This is Eve Moneypenny, my operations coordinator." "Eve, this is Officer Sarah Collins, Emax." Moneypenny extended her hand. "We've heard impressive things. James dois ni te recruit often, e he has never been wrong." "I haven't agreed to anything," Sarah said. "Then let me show you why you should." Bond led them to a conference room where a massive screen displayed a map of Atlanta. Hidge markers dotted various locations throughout the city. 3 weeks from now, Atlanta will host a Global Summit. 23 world leaders, including the U.S. President, will gather at the World Congress Center. Each represents the largest concentration of political power in one location this decade. He clicked a remote. Images of men and women appeared. "This is the Syndicate, an international criminal organization that makes the cartels look like street thugs. They deal in everything: weapons, information, assassinations. Our intelligence suggests they are planning something catastrophic during the summit." Sarah studied the faces. "Why not inform local authorities? Polícia Federal Norte-Americana? Homeland Security? Because we believe the Syndicate has infiltrated multiple agencies," Moneypenny interjected. "Standard channels can't be trusted. We need someone unknown, someone they never suspect, someone who can move through Atlanta without raising alarms, someone with a Kappa 9 officer's credentials," Bond added. "You already have access to secured areas. Security personnel trust you." In Max, he crouched till the dog's level. Max can go places and detect things that even our best technology misses. Max tilted his head, studying Bond with what Sarah recognized as his assessment expression. After a moment, the dog's tail wagged once. Bond smiled. "He approves. That's a good sign." Sarah felt the weight of the decision crushing her. "If I say no, then you'll find someone else, though it will take a team we don't have. Lives will likely be lost. The summit will be attacked, and the Syndicate will demonstrate that nowhere is safe." Bond stood, facing her directly. "But if you say yes, you'll receive training that will transform you into one of the most capable operatives in the world. You'll have resources beyond imagination. You'll save thousands of lives." "I need to think," an alarm blared through the facility. Moneypenny rushed to our workstation, her fingers flying across the keyboard. "We've got a situation. One of our undercover agents just triggered an emergency beacon. He is under attack. Syndicate operatives. Location is 4 miles from it." Bond was already moving toward a weapons locker. "How many hostiles?" "At least 6. Maybe more. Can backup reach me, time?" "Negative. 15 minutes minimum." Bond grabbed a pistol and checked the magazine with practiced efficiency. He looked at Sarah. "This is what I do, Officer Collins. This is what you could do. But right now, I need to move, and I need to move alone. Stay anywhere it is safe." Something in Sarah snapped. She'd spent 7 years running toward danger, not away from it. "For miles? That's the old industrial district off Howell Mill Road. You know it?" "Max and I ran a training exercise there last month. I know every building, every access point." She met his eyes. "Let me help." Bond studied her for 3 seconds that felt like hours. Then he nodded. "Eve, prep a tactical kit for Officer Collins. Sarah, you follow my lead exactly. No heroics. This is reconnaissance only. Understood?" In Sarah, Bond's expression was deadly serious. "What you hear about to see, what you hear about told there isn't going back. Once you step into this world, you hear it. Forever." Sarah looked at Max, who gazed back with absolute trust. 7 years together. 7 years of having each other's backs. If she was going to step into the darkness, at least she wouldn't be alone. Then let us not waste time. The tactical vest felt strange but secure as Sarah crouched behind a dumpster. Max pressed against her legislation. Bond moved like a shadow 30 feet ahead, communicating through hand signals. They approached the building, a decrepit factory from the south, using darkness in Max's nose to avoid detection. Max's ears suddenly pricked forward. He'd caught something. Sarah touched her earpiece. "Bond." Max has a scent. Northeast corner, elevated position. "Sniper?" Likely. Can Max pinpoint the exact location? Sarah gave Max a subtle hand command. The doggy eyes tracked upward, focusing on a third-story window. She relayed the position. Excellent, Bond whispered. The SR entry point once he is neutralized. Stand by. What happened next occurred so fast Sarah almost missed each. Bond moved with inhuman speeding precision, eliminating the sniper silently before the man could react. 2 minutes later, they were inside the building. The interior was a maze of rusted machinery in shadows. Max led them through, his enhanced senses detecting threats before they appeared. They found Bond SE agent, a young man named Mitchell, cornered in a basement room, wounded but alive. 4 Syndicate operatives surrounded him. Bond's voice was icy in Sarah's ear. Ele take the 2 on the left. You create a distraction. Can Max do that? Sarah looked at her partner. This wasn't the standard K-9 work. This was something else entirely. But Max was ready. She could see it in his stance. On your signal, she whispered. 3, 2, 1, now. Sarah released Max with a command she'd never used in duty. Break. Max exploded into motion, a snarling, 60-pound missile that hit the nearest operative like a freight train. The man's scream drew the others' attention for exactly 12 seconds, all Bond needed. The firefight lasted 8 seconds. When each ended, 4 Syndicate operatives were though. Mitchell was being stabilized, and Sarah stood with her service weapon smoking, her hand steady despite her racing heart. She'd fired her weapon. She'd taken a life. She'd felt nothing but cold calculation in the moment. Bond appeared beside her. You did well. That was good tactical thinking. I killed someone. You saved 2 lives. Mitchell's minded third operative was about to flank me. He placed a hand on her shoulder. Welcome to the world, Sarah. Each is not pretty, but each is necessary. Max trotted back to her side, panting but uninjured. Sarah knelt, holding him close, drawing strength from his warmth. Yemin, she heard herself say, whatever you need me to do, train me, make me into what you are. Yemin, Bond's smile was genuine. I was hoping you'd say that. Training starts tomorrow. You have 3 weeks till become 007. As they extracted Mitchell's filtrated the building, Sarah realized her old life had ended the moment she'd taken Bond's envelope. There was no going back to patrol cars and routine calls. She was stepping into legend. Max was coming with her. The legacy had found its heir. 3 weeks of hell had transformed Sarah Collins into something she barely recognized. She stood in the Missa's training facility as the observation room, watching security footage of herself from yesterday. On screen, she moved through a kill house scenario, neutralizing targets, reloading on the move, covering angles with mechanical precision. Max flowed beside her like a liquid shadow, taking the armed opponents with ruthless efficiency. Your close quarters combat scores are exceptional, Moneypenny said, reviewing data on a tablet. Marksmanship, advanced driving, tactical medicine all above threshold. Bond was right about you. Sarah touched the fresh bruises on her ribs from hand-to-hand combat training. Every mazo ashid. She'd learned to fire 23 different weapons, speak basic Russian and Mandarin, bypass security systems, and identify explosives by smell alone. She'd been broken though rebuilt into something lethal. But the hardest part had been watching Max transform too. The Missa's tech division had fitted him with a custom tactical vest made of lightweight carbon fiber bullet resistant, equipped with a micro-camera system, encrypted communication relay, and biometric sensors that fed directly to Sarah's heads-up display. They enhanced his already formidable training with specialized commands and attack patterns designed for espionage work. Max was no longer just a K-9 officer. He was a weapon. The ceremony is in 10 minutes, Moneypenny continued. Bond wants to make each official before the summit begins tomorrow. Sarah nodded, her throat tight. Tomorrow, 23 world leaders would gather in Atlanta. In somewhere in the shadows, the Syndicate was waiting. The ceremony was simple and private. Just Bond, Moneypenny, and Amy, the head of Missa's, appearing via security video link from London. Amy was a sharp-eyed woman in her 50s who studied Sarah with unsettling intensity. Officer Sarah Collins, Amy's voice carried the weight of authority accumulated over decades. You've completed the most accelerated training program in Missa's history. Your instructors report that you possess exceptional tactical instincts and an unprecedented partnership with your K-9 asset. James Bond has recommended you for active duty with the designation 007. Sara stood at attention, Max sitting perfectly still at her side. Do you understand what this number represents? Amy asked. It is not just a designation. It is a license to kill in service of Crown Country. It is a burden that will follow you for the rest of your life. Every decision you make, every life you take or save, will define you. Are you prepared for that responsibility? Sara thought about the warehouse 3 weeks ago. The weight of the trigger. The finality of death. Yes, I am. Then by the authority vested in me, I hereby designate you as 007, effective immediately. Your first mission begins now. Amy's expression softened almost imperceptibly. Welcome to the service, Agent Collins. Try not to get killed. The screen went dark. Bond stepped forward, extending his hand. Each lay a Walther PPK, the signature weapon of 007. This was mine for 30 years. Now each is yours. Use it well. Sara took the weapon, feel its weight, its history. E do my best to honor the legacy. You already have. Bond smiled. Now let us brief you on Shadow Protocol. The operations center had been transformed into our room. Satellite imagery covered the main screen, showing the World Congress Center and surrounding streets e real time. Hid markers indicated potential threat points. The Syndicate leader goes by the name Konstantin Volkov, Moneypenny explained, pulling up a file. The face that appeared with striking sharp features, cold gray eyes, a scar running from his left temple to his jaw. Former KGB, former Spetsnaz, former everything. He went private 15 years ago and built the Syndicate from the ground up. He is responsible for at least 40 confirmed assassinations and twice as many terrorist incidents. What is his played? Sara asked, studying the tactical map. That is what you he going to find out. Bond pointed to a location on the map, a nightclub in Atlanta's west side called the Velvet Underground. Our intelligence indicates the Syndicate has a local cell operating from there. Each front the real business happens in the basement levels. Weapons deals, information trading, contract killings. You want me to infiltrate? We want you to investigate. Get close, identify key players, and find out what they are planning for tomorrow's summit. Max's camera system will capture everything. You have full support. Moneypenny will be your the entire team. And we have extraction teams on standby. Sara felt her pulse quicken. This was it. Her first real mission as 007. What is my cavar? You hear yourself mostly. Sara Collins, security consultant brought in for the summit. You he looking to make connections in Atlanta's private security world. The Velvet Underground is where those types network. Bond handed her a smartphone. This has everything you need: encrypted codes, fake credentials, emergency protocols. Memorize it all, then we wipe it remotely. When do I go? Tonight. The summit is 12 hours away. Whatever the Syndicate is planning, it is already in motion. The Velvet Underground pulsed with electronic music and strobe lights. Sara moved through the crowd, her designer dress concealing a thigh holster and the lightweight armor beneath. Max didn't accompany her inside too conspicuous, so he waited in her vehicle 2 blocks away, his camera feed showing her his view of the surrounding streets. You he looking for a man named Dmitry Kozlov? Moneypenny's voice came through the nearly invisible earpiece. Mid-level operator in Volkov's network. He is your entry point. Sara spotted him at the bar, stocky, shaved head, expensive suit that didn't hide the shoulder holster beneath. She learned training the confidence was everything in this world. Hesitation got you killed. She sat the one stool away, ordered a vodka martini, and waited exactly 45 seconds before speaking. Dmitry Kozlov, I heard you he demand to talk to you about specialized security. He turned, eyes narrowing. I think you have me confused with someone else. I don't think so. Sara met his gaze steadily. Me providing overwatch for tomorrow's summit. My team needs equipment that is not exactly government issued. I heard you could facilitate. Who told you that? Marcus Webb. A name Bond had provided, a dead arms dealer whose identity they borrowed. Something flickered in Kozlov's expression. Recognition, maybe concern. Webb is dead. Yemi aware, which is why Yemi ate instead of him. Sara sipped her drink. Are we going to do business, or should I take my money elsewhere? Kozlov studied her for a long moment, then gestured toward a back corridor. Come, we talk in private. Sara followed, her hand drifting casually near her holster. Moneypenny's voice crackled in her ear. Careful. You're moving into a dead zone for our surveillance. The corridor led to a heavy metal door. Beyond it, stairs descended into darkness. Every instinct Sarah had developed over 7 years in law enforcement screamed that this was a trap. But 007 didn't have the luxury of caution. She followed Kozlov down. The basement was exactly as described, a converted space that had been transformed into an armory. Weapons lined the walls, assault rifles, explosives, equipment Sarah recognized from military operations. 3 men stood guard, all armed, all watching her with predatory interest. So, Kozlov said, his accent thickening now that they were alone. Tell me exactly what you need. Sarah's mind raced. She needed information, not weapons. She needed to push Kozlov into revealing the Syndicate's plans. I need to know what kind of opposition I'm facing tomorrow. Word is something big is going to watch the summit. I want to make sure my team is prepared. Something big? Kozlov laughed. You could say that. Tomorrow, the world changes. All these powerful leaders gathered in one place, thinking they hisaf. They have no idea what's coming. Then maybe you should enlighten me, so I can make sure I'm on the winning side. Kozlov's expression hardened. Who are you really? Sarah felt the situation shifting. The other men were moving, hands drifting toward weapons. She pushed too hard, too fast. I'm someone who is about to leave, she said, backing toward the stairs. I don't think so. Kozlov pulled a pistol. I think you're a cop. Or worse. Either way, you're not leaving it alive. Jimmy slowed. Sarah's training took over. She moved before Kozlov could fire, stepping inside his guard, redirecting the weapon, driving her elbow into his throat. The pistol discharged, the hold punching into the ceiling. The other guards drew their weapons. Sarah grabbed Kozlov, using him as a shield as she pulled her own pistol from the thigh holster. Nobody moves or he dies. Kill her. Kozlov choked out. They moved anyway. Sarah fired twice in mass, controlled pairs, just as she'd been trained. 2 guards dropped. The third dove behind a weapons crating returned fire. Hold sparked off metal around her. She shoved Kozlov away and ran for the stairs, firing suppressive shots behind her. Moneypenny's voice exploded in her ear. Sarah, we've lost your signal. What's happening? Contact. Multiple hostiles. I'm extracting. She burst through the door into the corridor, sprinting toward the club's main floor. Behind her, she heard shouting footsteps. The basement guards were pursuing. The club's music in crowd became her cover. She wove through dancers, heading for the exit. But more men were converging. Syndicate operatives positioned throughout the venue, now alerted to her presence. Sarah broke for the front trance, but a massive bouncer blocked her path. She didn't slow though. She used his size against him, ducking under his grab and using his momentum to throw him into 2 approaching hostiles. Then she was outside, night air hitting her face and she was running. Max, she commanded through her car. Halley Point Alpha, now. 2 blocks away, her vehicle's engine roared to life. Max had been trained for this emergency extraction. The SUV pulled out of its parking spot with the dog somehow managing the controls through the specialized interface they'd installed. Sarah sprinted through alleys, vaulted over a fence, emerged onto a side street just as the SUV screeched around the corner. She threw open the passenger door and dove inside, Max immediately sliding into the back seat. Drive, she yelled into the car, knowing Moneypenny had remote access to the vehicle. The SUV accelerated hard as gunfire erupted behind them. Bullets punched through the rear window, but the armored glass held. Sarah returned fire through the shattered opening, forcing their pursuers to take cover. Take a lefty 200 meters, Moneypenny directed. There's a highway on ramp. We can lose them there. Sarah didn't question it. She just drove, trusting Moneypenny's guidance and Max's presence in the back seat. Her heart hammered, adrenaline singing through her veins. This wasn't like police work. This was something else entirely faster, deadlier, more chaotic. The pursuit continued through Atlanta's streets, a high-speed chase that saw them weaving through traffic, taking corners at dangerous speeds, barely maintaining control. Their pursuers were professional, coordinated, and relentless. Approaching on-ramp, Moneypenny said, "Once you're on the highway, we have an exit strategy." Sarah floored it, the SUV launching up the ramp. Behind them, 3 black sedans maintained pursuit. But as they merged onto the highway, something unexpected happened. Blue lights appeared from every direction. Atlanta Police Department units Sara's former colleagues swarmed the pursuing vehicles, forcing them to scatter and abandon the chase. Courtesy of some well-timed anonymous tips, Moneypenny explained, your fellow officers just saved your life without knowing it. Sara felt a strange emotion, gratitude mixed with guilt. She'd left that world behind, but each had still protected her. 20 minutes later, she pulled into Demise's facility's underground garage, her hands shaking as the adrenaline finally drained away. Bond was waiting, his expression unreadable. Report, he said simply. Sara climbed out, Max jumping down beside her. The Syndicate knows someone is investigating them. I compromised Kozlovi, took down 2 of his men. But I got what we needed. She tapped her temple, where a micro camera had recorded everything. Full visual documentation of their armory and confirmation that something major is planned for tomorrow. Bond's expression shifted to approval. Well done. Most agents don't survive their first real contact. You've got good instincts. I got lucky. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. You were prepared. He gestured toward the operations center. Now let us see what you captured. We have 11 hours to prevent whatever the Syndicate is planning. As they walked inside, Max pressed against Sara's leg, a gesture of reassurance she desperately needed. Her first mission as 007 had been baptism by fire. Tomorrow would be even worse. The operations center buzzed with controlled chaos. Technicians analyzed footage from Sara's infiltration while Moneypenny coordinated with Mise's headquarters in London. Sara sat with an ice pack pressed to her shoulder, watching the screens. Max called at her feet. There. Bond froze the footage, zooming in on a crate visible in the basement armory. Serial numbers etched into the metal. Those are the Chinese Majesam launchers, surface-to air missiles. If the Syndicate has those positioned near the summit, they could shoot down Air Force One, Sara finished, or any of the other delegations arriving by helicopter. Moneypenny typed rapidly, Yemi cross-referencing those serial numbers with known arms shipments. If we can trace the origin, we might find where they being stored. Sara stood, ignoring the protest from her bruised muscles. We don't have time for might. The summit starts in 9 hours. I need to find those missiles now. Too dangerous, Bond said. The Syndicate knows you hunting them. They'll be ready for another movie. Then you'll give them what they not expecting. Sara looked to watch Max, who raised his head attentively. A Kappa 9 officer a her doggy, following up on a routine tip. Bond studied her. You want to use your old credentials? Your real identity? Why not? Dimitri saw me for maybe 3 minutes in bad lighting. He does não M6. As far as the Syndicate is concerned, I could be a cop who got lucky and stumbled onto something. If I show up in uniform with Max, running a standard investigation, they'll either believe it or kill you immediately. Moneypenny interjected. She is right though, Bond said slowly. The Syndicate thinks in terms of espionage. They want to expect an Atlanta Kappa 9 officer to be working for the US. Each is bold enough to work. Moneypenny's computer chimed. If got something. The serial numbers trace back to a shipment that went missing from a military transport in Taiwan 6 months ago. But there is a connection. One of the manifests was digitally signed by someone using an IP address that has pinged 3 times in Atlanta over the past week. All 3 locations are within a 2-meter radius of the Port of Savannah industrial area. Sara was already moving toward the equipment lockers. That is 20 minutes from Eddie. Yemi going. Not alone, Bond said. Yemi coming with you. No, Sara turned, meeting his eyes. You famous in this world, even if the public does need to know your face. But me, Yemi nobody. A rookie agent a her doggy. That's our advantage. Let me use it. Bond looked like he wanted to argue, but professional respect won out. Take a tactical team for backup. They'll maintain distance but provide overwatch and extraction if things go wrong. Agreed. Sara grabbed her old up the uniform from a locker they kept each as part of her cover documentation. Maxie, I will go quiet, see what we can find. If we locate the missiles, the tactical team can move in. As she changed, Moneypenny appeared with a tablet. These are the 3 locations where the IP address appeared. An abandoned warehouse, a shipping container depot, a seafood processing plant, all owned by shell companies, all with minimal legitimate activity. Which one would you choose? Sarah asked. The warehouse. Ichi is isolated, his vehicle access, in public records show Ichi was leased 3 months ago, right when the Syndicate would have been planning this operation. Sarah memorized the address. Then let's see where we start. Dawn was breaking over Atlanta. Sarah S. patrol car borrowed from the AP de Motorpo using her two active credentials pulled up till the chain link fence surrounding the warehouse. Max sat in the back, wearing his standard K-9 vest instead of the high-tech M6 version. To anyone watching, they were exactly what they appeared to be, a copy her dog, investigating a tip. Sarah keyed her hidden earpiece. In position, beginning approach. Copy that, Moneypenny replied. Tactical team is 2 minutes out. Satellite shows no obvious activity, but thermal imaging indicates heat signatures inside the building. At least 4, possibly more. Sarah clipped Max's lady approached the gate. It was secured with a padlock, but she could see chitty tracks in the dirt, recent ones. Someone had been hit within the last few hours. Max, seek. The dog's nose went to work immediately, scanning the fence line. He alerted at a section where the chain link had been cut, a poorly repaired an access point. Sarah squeezed through, Max following. They moved toward the warehouse's side entrance, Sarah's hand resting on her sidearm. This was familiar territory. She did done hundreds of building searches as a K-9 officer, but this time, the stakes were exponentially higher. The door was unlocked. Sarah eased the chopping, Max entering first the standard search protocol. The interior was dark, illuminated only by weak morning light filtering through grimy windows. Shipping crates were stacked throughout, creating a maze of potential hiding spots. Max, seek. The doggy moved methodically, nose working. Sarah followed, sweeping with her flashlight. Then Max froze, tail rigid, his alert position. He'd found something. Sarah moved to where Max indicated. A large crate, seemingly identical to dozens of others, but Max's nose never lied. She examined each closely, finding the pry marks where someone had opened each recently. Using a tactical knife, Sarah carefully worked the lid free. Inside, nestled in foam packing, were 4 Chinese SAM launchers, sleek, deadly, capable of bringing down any aircraft within a 2-meter radius. Moneypenny, EVE found them. For SAM launchers, Chinese manufacture, same serial numbers foam last night. Outstanding work. Tactical team's wait. Sarah, we got movement. 3 vehicles approaching your location at high speed. Sarah's blood went cold. How did they know? They must have had sensors we missed. You need to extract now. But each was too. Sarah heard the screech of cheetahs outside, followed by shouting in Russian. She dibben maj. Max, hide, she commanded, gesturing till the shadows between crates. Max disappeared instantly, trained for concealment. Sarah positioned herself behind a support column, drawing her Walther PPK. The warehouse's main door exploded open. Armed men poured D6, 7, 8 of them, all carrying automatic weapons, all Syndicate operatives. Leading them was Dmitry Kozlovy, his throat bruised from where Sarah had struck him the night before. His expression was murderous. K-9 officer Sarah Collins, he called out, his voice echoing through the warehouse. Yes, we know who you are now. We know everything. Come out and maybe you die quickly. Hide, and I promise you LL suffer. Sarah's mind raced. 8 against 1, heavily armed versus a pistol. Tactical team 2 minutes away might as well be 2 hours. She needed an advantage. Yemi, a police officer, Sarah called back, keeping her voice steady. Yemi, investigating a tip about stolen military equipment. This does need to have to end badly. Kozlovy laughed. You think we stupid? You infiltrate our operation, kill my men, and now you expect me to believe you he just a cop? No, you he me says. You he going to tell me everything before you die. Sarah caught movement in her peripheral vision. Max, circling through the shadows, positioning himself. Her partner understood what was coming. They did train for scenarios like this, though never against odds this impossible. Last chance, Kozlovy said. Come out or we burn this place though with you each. Sarah made her decision. Sometimes the only way forward was through. Max, execute. Everything happened at once. Max exploded from the shadows, hitting the nearest operative before the man could react. Sara broke from cavar, firing on the MOV-controlled pairs, targeting center mass. 2 men dropped before the others could return fire. The warehouse erupted into chaos. Automatic weapons fired totally through the air, hodges punching through metal and splintering wood. Sara dove behind a crate as bullets chewed up her previous position. Max was a blow of violence, his training natural ferocity making him nearly impossible to target. Sara returned fire, dropping another operative. But they were advancing, using suppressive fire to close the distance. She was being flanked, the tactical situation deteriorating by the second. Tactical team, I need immediate support, Sara shouted into her core. 90 seconds out, Moneypenny replied. 90 seconds, an eternity a firefight. Sara moved, sprinting between crates, trying to maintain distance. A hodge grazed her arm, white-hot pain that she forced herself to ignore. She returned fire blind, buying seconds. Then she heard Max yelp. Everything else ceased to matter. Sara spun, seeing her partner stumble, blood matting his fur. Raging like anything she'd ever felt surged through her. She stood, fully exposed, and advanced on Kozlov's position. Her training took over completely, every shot precise, every movement calculated. She dropped 2 Modi operatives with clinical efficiency, closing the distance to Kozlov, who was suddenly scrambling backward, his confidence evaporating. You heard my doggy, Sara said, her voice devoid of emotion. She shot me the leg, a controlled, deliberate strike. Kozlov screamed, collapsing. Sara kept advancing, weapon trained on the remaining operatives who suddenly seemed far less eager to fight. Stand do or die, she said simply. They dropped their weapons. Sara rushed to Max, who was struggling to stand. The wound was on his shoulder, bad but not fatal if she could stop the bleeding. She stripped off her uniform shirt, using each to apply pressure while keeping her weapon trained on the prisoners. Moneypenny, I need immediate medical support for Max. GSW to his left shoulder. Tactical team is at your position. Medical is standing by. The warehouse doors burst open in black-clad missiles operatives flooded securing the scene with professional efficiency. A medic rushed to Max, taking over treatment while Sara stood, shaking slightly as adrenaline drained away. Bond appeared, taking the scene, bodies on the ground, blood splattered across concrete, Sara standing victorious but wounded, Max being stabilized by medics. Status? He asked. 4 confirmed kills for prisoners including Kozlov. We've secured the missiles. Max is wounded but stable. Mission successful. Sara's voice was mechanical, her mind still processing what she did done. And you he bleeding. Sara looked at her arm as if noticing the wound for the first time. Flesh wound. Fini. Bond stepped closer, his voice dropping. Your first kills on Recordias 007. How do you feel? Sara watched medics loading Max onto a stretcher, her partner SI's finding hers across the warehouse. I feel like he did do it again without hesitation. They hurt Max. They threatened thousands of lives. I made the right call. Yes, Bond said. You did. Welcome to the reality of being 007, Agent Collins. It's not always glamorous. Sometimes it's just blood in concrete and impossible choices. I can live with it, Sara said. And she realized she meant it. And ao later, Sara saindo de M6 medical bay while a doctor stitched her arm. Max lay on the next table over, sedated but stable, his shoulder bandaged and the bullet successfully removed. The vet had assured Sara he'd make a full recovery. Moneypenny entered with a tablet. Kozlov is talking. Between what you captured last night and what we've extracted from him, we have the Syndicate's entire operation plan. The missiles were backup. Their primary attack vector is far worse. Tell me, Sara said. They've placed explosives throughout the World Congress Interesse Foundation, enough C4 to bring down the entire structure. They plan to detonate during the opening ceremony, when all 23 world leaders would be the main high. The death toll would have been catastrophic. Sara felt sick. Can we stop it? We know where the explosives are now, thanks to Kozlov's cooperation. Bomb disposal teams are already moving in. The summit will be delayed but not cancelled. You've saved thousands of lives, Sara. But Sara wasn't listening anymore. She was focused on Max, whose eyes had fluttered up. She moved to his side, gently stroking his head. Hey, partner, she whispered. You saved my life out there. Max's tail wagged weakly. We going to get you fixed up, and then we going to finish this mission. Together, like always, Bond appeared in the doorway. The tactical team found something else during their sweep. Intelligence documents suggesting Volkov himself is in Atlanta, planning to personally oversee the attack. This isn't over. Sarah looked up, her expression hardening. Then we keep hunting. Max e Dignité come desfar teu let Volkov escape. The summit is in 6 hours, Bond said. Max needs time to recover. Max has survived worse. Haven to you, boy? Sarah looked at her partner, seeing the determination in his eyes that matched her own. We finish this together. Bond nodded slowly. Then rest while you can. Because when we move against Volkov, it's going to be the fight of your life. Sarah settled into a chair next to Max's table, her hand resting on his uninjured side. Outside, Atlanta was waking up, unaware of how close they'd come to catastrophe. But Sarah knew, and she knew her work wasn't finished. The new 007 had been bloodied, tested, and proven. Now came the final challenge. And she was ready. The Missiles Operations Center had been transformed into a war room. Multiple screens displayed live feeds from every angle of the World Congress Center. Bomb disposal teams worked methodically through the foundation while security forces locked down the perimeter. The summit had been delayed by 4 hours, buying them precious time. Sarah stood beside Bond, watching it all unfold. Her arm was bandaged but functional, and Max, against veterinary advice, sat at her feet, his shoulder wrapped but his eyes alert. The sedatives had worn off faster than expected, and the dog had managed clear he wasn't sitting this one out. 16 charges located and neutralized, Moneypenny reported. Kozlov said there were 18 total. We are still searching for the last 2. What about Volkov? Sarah asked. No sign of him yet, but all analysts are tracking financial transactions and communication intercepts. He is here in Atlanta. We just need to find him before an alarm blared. Every screen in the operations center flashed hedge. Security breach. A technician shouted. Someone is accessing our encrypted feeds from inside the network. Bond moved instantly to the nearest terminal. Lock it down. Trace the source. Sarah watched the screens as codes scrolled past. Feeds being copied and transmitted. Classified intelligence, operational plans, agent identities, everything being stolen in real time. Source located, the technician said, his face pale. ETS coming from Terminal 7, that is my station, Moneypenny finished quietly. Everyone turned. Moneypenny stood frozen, staring at her computer screen with an expression of horror. Idjinita, someone is using my credentials. Idjinite do this. But Bond's weapon was already drawn, trained on his longtime partner. Step away from the terminal, Eve. Slowly. James, you can't possibly think I said step away. Bond's voice carried a pain Sarah had never heard before. How long have you been working for them? I haven't. Moneypenny's voice broke. James, please, you know me. You've known me for 20 years. I would never. The evidence says otherwise, Bond said coldly. You've had access to every operation. You knew Sarah was infiltrating the Velvet Underground. You coordinated her movements at the warehouse. You've been in position to sabotage us at every turn. Sarah's mind raced, analyzing everything that had happened. The ambush at the nightclub. The Syndicate operatives who found her at the warehouse. It all made a terrible sense if someone inside had been feeding them information. Max, Sarah said quietly. Seek. The dog moved toward Moneypenny, nose working. He circled her once, twice, then sat his neutral position. No alert, no indication of deception or threat. Bond, Sarah said carefully. Max doesn't mark her as hostile. Dogs can be fooled, Bond snapped, though his weapon wavered slightly. Not Max. And not about this. Sarah approached Moneypenny slowly. Someone is using your credentials. Which means either they have your passwords or they're your physical device, Moneypenny said, hope flashing in her eyes. A keystroke logger or she reached for her keyboard. Don't touch anything, Bond ordered. But Sarah was already moving, her trainee evidence collection taking over. She examined Moneypenny's workstation carefully, then stopped. A small device, barely larger than a USB drive, was plugged into the back of the computer tower, hidden from casual view but actively transmitting. Sarah said, carefully extracting each. This is military-grade surveillance tech. Chinese manufacturer if I'm not mistaken. Someone planted it. Bond lowered his weapon slightly. When? Could have been any time in the past week. Sara examined the device. It has been recording everything: passwords, files accessed, communication protocols. Whoever planted this has had complete access to our operations. But who? Moneypenny's voice was shaking. Who could get close enough to plant it without being noticed? Sara's blood went cold as realization struck. Someone we trusted. Someone who has been aided the entire team. She turned to Bond. Who else has had unrestricted access to this facility? Bond's expression darkened. The technical support team. The security personnel. The tactical team. Sara finished. The same team that provided overwatch during my infiltration. The same team that just happened to arrive seconds after I secured the missiles. An explosion of understanding crossed Bond's face. Marcus Webb. The dead arms dealer whose identity we borrowed for your cover. What if he wasn't dead? What if that was misinformation fed to US specifically so the Syndicate would know you were coming? Moneypenny was already typing frantically, pulling up personnel feeds for the tactical team. Cross-referencing with a guard, Lieutenant Andrew Chen. His background check showed 10 years of military service, exemplary record. But look at this. She pulled up an image. His service records were digitally altered 6 months ago. The original files show he was dishonorably discharged for selling classified information. Where is he now? Sara demanded. According to the duty roster, Moneypenny's face went white. He is leading the bomb disposal team at the World Congress Center. The implications crashed on them all. Chen had access to every explosive device they'd found. He knew their locations, their timing, their defusal protocols. He can reactivate them remotely, Bond said. Or worse, he knows which ones we haven't found yet. This has been a setup from the beginning. Sara was already moving. Max, with me. We need to get to that building now. Sara, wait. Bond grabbed her arm. Chen has an entire tactical team with him. You can't watch me. Sara pulled free, her eyes blazing. Max, didn't survive a firefight this morning just to let some traitor blow up the summit. Are you coming or not? Bond held her gaze for 3 seconds, then nodded. Eve, alert whatever loyal security forces we have left. Tell them Chen is the target and he has to be stopped by any means necessary. Sara and I are going in. James Moneypenny started. I know, Bond said quietly. I'm sorry I doubted you. Make it right. Stop him. Sara and Bond were in a vehicle seconds later, racing through Atlanta's streets toward the World Congress Center. Max sat in the back, his injured shoulder forgotten, every sense focused on the mission ahead. Chen will have prepared for this, Bond said, checking his weapons. He'll have contingencies, escape routes, loyal operatives positioned throughout the building. Then we adapt, Sara said grimly. That's what 0072, right? Bond smiled slightly. That's exactly what 0072. They arrived at the World Congress Center to find controlled chaos. Security personnel were evacuating the building, but the process was taking too long. There were too many people, too many rooms to clear. And somewhere inside, Chen was waiting. Sara and Bond bypassed the main entrance, using Nisei's credentials to access a service corridor. Max led the way, his enhanced training making him invaluable in the labyrinthine building. Moneypenny, we he inside, Sara reported. Where is Chen's last known position? Sub-level 3, near the main support columns. That's where the last unaccounted for explosive charges should be located. Should be, Chen's team reported those areas clear. But if he is demolished, then those charges are too active and he is planning to trigger them manually. Sara checked her weapon. How long until the summit is scheduled to start? 90 minutes. World leaders are already gathering in the security staging area. If those charges detonate, they want it, Sara said with absolute conviction. Maxie, I want to let them. They descended into the sub-levels, the atmosphere growing more oppressive with each floor. Emergency lighting cast everything in hedge, and the air tasted of concrete dust in fear. Max suddenly went rigid, his alert position. Someone was close. Sara and Bond split up, moving to cover opposite sides of the corridor. Ahead, in the dim light, Sara could see Figure's tactical team members, their weapons drawn, clearly on guard. They he protecting Chen, Bond whispered through the call. He convinced them you hid the threat. Then I guess we do this the hard way, Sara replied. She stepped into the open, weapon raised. Everyone freeze. Lieutenant Chen is a traitor working for the Syndicate. Estandidão e let us pass. For a moment, no one moved. Then Chen's voice echoed through the corridor, smooth, inconfident. Don't listen to her. She is uncompromised. We have orders to neutralize her on sight. The tactical team members raised their weapons. Insara knew she had seconds before this turned into a bloodbath. Max, she said quietly. Show them. Max moved forward slowly, limping slightly on his injured legislação. The tactical team members watched, confused. Then Max sat in front of the Minhamov. Sara had never seen him perform before, offered his paw. It was such a simple, innocent gesture that it cut through detention like a knife. These were good many women, loyal operatives who'd been deceived. And Max, wounded but still offering friendship, represented everything they'd sworn to protect. Look at him, Sara said, her voice carrying through the corridor. That dog took a bullet this morning stopping a terrorist attack. He is bleeding, exhausted, and still trying to do his duty. Does he look like the enemy to you? One of the tactical team members lowered his weapon. Then another. The spell Chen had woven was breaking. Estandidão. Chen's voice was desperate now. That is an order. You are not in command anymore, Chen, Bond said, emerging from cover. It is over. Your cover is blown. Your operation is compromised. Surrender now and maybe you'll live through this. Chen laughed a bitter, twisted sound. You think this is about living? This is about making a statement. About showing the world that nowhere is safe. And you hit to latch till stop it. Sara heard the click of a dead mice switch being activated. Everyone run, she screamed. Get out now. The tactical team scattered, running for the exits. But Sara and Max moved forward, sprinting toward Chen's position. They had seconds, maybe less. They found him in a maintenance room, standing beside two massive explosive charges wired into the building's main support columns. His thumb hovered over a detonator, his expression manic. One more step and I trigger it, he warned. The whole building comes down. Sara stopped, but Max kept moving, circling slowly, assessing, waiting for Sara's command. You don't want to do this, Sara said, keeping her voice calm. Whatever they promised you, whatever they paid you, it is not worth dying for. You don't understand, Chen said. This isn't about money. It is about revenge. About making them pay for what they did to my family. Volkov gave me purpose. He gave me a chance to strike back at the system that destroyed everything I loved. Then strike at Volkov, Bond said, appearing in the doorway. He is using you. Once these charges detonate, the Syndicate will disappear. You'll be dead. Help us stop him instead. Real revenge. Chen's hand wavered. For a moment, Sara thought they might reach him. Then his expression hardened. Volkov already won. He has been 3 steps ahead of you the entire team. And now Max moved. The dog crossed the distance in a heartbeat, leaping despite his injured shoulder, jaws clamping onto Chen's wrist. The traitor screamed, his hand spasming. The detonator clattered to the floor. Sara dove for it, her injured arm screaming in protest as she secured the device. Bond was already on Chen, subduing him with brutal efficiency while Max maintained his grip. Estandidão, boy, Sara commanded gently. Max released immediately, limping back to her side. Sara examined the detonator, her heart pounding. The charges were still active, still capable of bringing down the building, but now they could be safely disarmed. Moneypenny, we have Chen in custody and the detonator secured. Get the bomb disposal team da de Real won this team. Copy that. Well done, Sara. Both of you. Bond hauled Chen to his feet, the traitor's expression now showing only defeat. Where is Volkov? Bond demanded. Where is he right now? Chen smiled through blood-stained teeth. Closer than you think. You'll never see him coming. A chill ran down Sara's spine. Chen was right about one thing. Volkov had been ahead of them the entire team, which meant this wasn't over. Not even close. As bomb disposal team swarmed the room, security forces took Chen into custody. Sara knelt beside Max, examining his reopened shoulder wound. You never stop amazing me, she whispered. Even injured, you still saved the day. Max licked her face, his way of saying they were in this together, no matter what. Bond approached, his expression grim. Chen is right. Volkov is still out there, and he is planning something. This whole operation, the missiles, the explosives, even Chenichesi all been misdirection. Then what is the real target? Sarah asked. Before Bond could answer, every phone in the building chimed simultaneously with an emergency alert. Sarah pulled out her device, reading the message that made her blood run cold. Security breach at security staging area. Multiple casualties. Suspect at large. Volkov was not planning to attack during the summit. He was already there. Sarah sprinted through the corridors of the World Congress Center. Max limping but determined at her side, Bond close behind. The security staging area was 3 floors up where 23 world leaders were supposed to be protected by the most advanced security measures on the planet. But Volkov had already breached each. Money penny, status. Sarah commanded into her car. 6 security personnel though, non fatal. Volkov entered using credentials stolen from the Chinese delegation as advanced team. He has taken a hostage. He trying to identify who. All world leaders have been evacuated to secondary security positions except who? Bond demanded. A pause. Except the U.S. President. She refused to evacuate, said she wouldn't let a terrorist dictate her actions. She is eschewing the staging area with Secret Service protection. Sarah cursed. Brave but foolish. Exactly what Volkov would have anticipated. They reached the staging area level to find chaos. Secret Service agents establishing perimeters, police SWAT teams mobilizing, everyone moving with urgent purpose but nuclear direction. Sarah pushed through, flashing Homicay's credentials. Where? She asked the high-key Secret Service agent. Presidential suite, end of the corridor. He is barricaded inside with the president at least one hostage. We've got snipers positioning but no clean shot yet. He demanded to speak with the agent. Checked his notches. Agent 007. Specifically. Sarah and Bond exchanged glances. He knows, Bond said quietly. He known all along. Then let not keep him waiting. Sarah moved toward the corridor, but Bond grabbed her arm. Sarah, this is a trap. Everything has been leading till this moment. He wants you specifically because Yemi the new 007, in killing me would be the ultimate statement, Sarah finished. I know, but Yemi going in anyway. That's what this number means, right? We don't run from the impossible missions. Bond held her gaze, and Sarah saw pride mixed with concern. Then do it properly. Assess, adapt, execute. And come back alive. He glanced at Max. Both of you. Sarah approached the presidential suite door. Through the reinforced glass panel, she could see the interior. Elegant furniture now overturned, a chandelier sparking where bullets had struck each. In the center, Konstantin Volkov. He was exactly as his photograph suggested. Sharp features, cold eyes, the scar running down his face like a mark of survival. He held a pistol to the head of a young woman Sarah recognized as the president's chief of staff. The president herself sat in a chair nearby, surrounded by 3 Secret Service agents with weapons drawn but unable to fire without risking their protective. Agent 007, Volkov called out, his English perfect despite the Russian accent. Or should I say, Officer Sarah Collins? Yes, I know exactly who you are. James Bond's handpicked successor, the woman with the remarkable dog. Come in, we have much to discuss. Sarah steadied her weapon and opened the door slowly. Max stayed close, his body tense, ready to spring at her command. Let them go, Sarah said simply. This is between you and me. Volkov laughed. How noble. But no. You see, we spent months planning this operation. Not to kill world leaders though, that would have been satisfying. No, I wanted something far more valuable. I wanted to expose the weakness of every security system, every intelligence agency, every protection detail. I wanted to meet the woman who disrupted my plans. Mission accomplished. Now let them go. Not yet. First, you're going to answer some questions. Volkov's gun never wavered from his hostage's head. Tell me, Agent Collins, what made you think you could step into Bond's shoes? Do you know how many people that man has killed? How many impossible situations he has survived? What makes you believe you're worthy of that legacy? Sarah felt every eye in the room on her. The president, the Secret Service, Bond watching from the corridor. But she kept her focus on Volkov. I don't believe Yemi worthy, she said honestly. I believe I have to be. Because if not me, then who? Someone has to stand against people like you. Someone has to say enough. And today, that someone is me. Beautiful speech. Meaningless, but beautiful. Volkov S finger tight end on the trigger. ADS reality, Agent Collins. You he outnumbered, outgunned, e out of your depth. You ve had one mission, 1 week of actual field experience. E ve been doing this for 20 years. You cannot beat me. Maybe not, Sara admitted, but I don't have to beat you alone. Max, ready. The dog shifted his stance imperceptibly, but Volkov noticed. His eyes flicked till Max, and Sara saw the first crack in his confidence. You think a dog frightens me? EVE survived Spetsnaz training, KGB interrogation, e a dozen assassination attempts. Your pet is Max moved, not toward Volkov that would have been predictable. Instead, the dog exploded toward the overturned furniture, using each escavar, while simultaneously drawing Volkov's attention in fire. The terrorist's gun swung away from his hostage for just a fraction of a second. Each was enough. Sara drew and fired in one fluid motion not at Volkov, but at the chandelier above him. The damaged fixture tore free from the ceiling, 300 pounds of crystal and metal crashing down. Volkov threw himself backward, his hostage breaking free in the chaos. Secret Service agents moved instantly, pulling both the president and the chief of staff till safety. But Volkov recovered faster than anyone expected, rolling till his feet and firing not at Sara, but at the president's retreating form. Max intercepted the shot. The dog launched himself into the air, his body blocking the trajectory. The hold caught him in the chest, the impact spinning him sideways. He hit the ground and didn't move. No, Sara's scream was primal, beyond thought. She charged Volkov, weapon forgotten, operating on pure rage and grief. Volkov met her charge with brutal efficiency, his combat training evident in every move. They collided in a flurry of strikes. Sara's police defensive tactics against his military assassination techniques. He was stronger, more experienced, more skilled. But Sara was fighting for something he could never understand. She fought for Max, lying motionless on the floor. She fought for every victim the Syndicate had created. She fought for the legacy Bond had entrusted to her. She fought with the desperate fury of someone who had nothing left to lose. They crashed through furniture, shattered glass, traded blows that would have dropped most opponents. Volkov landed a strike till Sara's injured arm that sent white-hot agony through her body. She responded with a knee till his ribs that cracked bone. You he get, Volkov gasped, blood streaming from his nose. Better than I expected, but not good enough. He produced a knife, a curved tactical blade designed for killing. He slashed at Sara, who barely dodged, feeling the blade slice through her sleeve and bite into her forearm. But the slash had overextended him, left him unbalanced for just a moment. Sara seized that moment, channeling every technique she'd learned in 3 weeks of brutal training. She trapped his knife hand, twisted, drove her elbow into his throat, used his momentum to slam him face first into the wall. The knife clattered away. Volkov struggled, but Sara had him her forearm across the back of his neck, her full weight pinning him. It's over, she said, her voice cold and final. Surrender now or I end this. Volkov laughed, the sound wet and bubbling. End it then. Prove you he a real 007. Prove you can kill in cold blood. Sara's training told her to do exactly that. Volkov was too dangerous to capture, too skilled to imprison safely. Eliminating him was the logical choice, the professional choice. But Sara thought about Max, about what he represented: loyalty, service, protection without malice. She thought about what made her different from monsters like Volkov. No, she said, I am not you. I don't kill because I can. I protect because I must. She pulled Volkov away from the wall and secured his hands with zip ties from her tactical kit. Secret Service agents swarmed in, taking custody of the terrorist. Then Sara ran till Max. The dog lay a spreading pool of blood, his breathing shallow and rapid. The bullet had struck his tactical vest but penetrated through and through that had missed his heart by inches but caused devastating damage. No, 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 Sara whispered, her hands pressing against the wound, trying to stop the bleeding. Stay with me, boy. Please stay with me. Max's eyes opened, finding hers. His tail attempted one weak wag. Medic. Bond's voice roared. We need a medic now. The Missé's medical team arrived within seconds, but Sara knew field medicine. She knew what that much blood loss meant, knew the odds of survival were impossible. The medic said gently. We need to get him till surgery. But you should know, don't they? Sara cut him off. Don't you daddy finish that sentence. You save him. You use every resource me says his. You do whatever it takes. That dog just saved the President of the United States. He owned every chance. The medic nodded. Professional respect key his eyes. We do everything possible. I promise. They loaded Max onto a stretcher, Sarah's hand never leaving his head. As they wheeled him toward the exit, the President herself approached, flanked by Secret Service but moving with purpose. Agent Collins, the President said, I owe you your partner my life. What can I do? Sarah looked at her, this woman who represented the pinnacle of power. He said simply, pray. Pray that he makes it. Because I don't know what ele do if he does not. 6 hours later, Sarah saindo de M6 Medical Facility S waiting room, her wounds treated and bandaged but her mind elsewhere. Bond sat beside her, silent support. Moneypenny had brought coffee that Sarah hadn't touched. The surgery had been going for 5 hours. No updates, no news. Just terrible, crushing silence. The door opened. The veterinary surgeon emerged, eschewing his scrubs, her expression carefully neutral. Sarah stood, her heart hammering. Tell me. He is alive, the surgeon said, and Sarah's knees nearly buckled. The surgery was successful. We repaired the damage, stopped the internal bleeding, and reconstructed the damaged tissue. He is stable and sedated. But what? Sarah demanded. The damage to his shoulder, combined with this new chest wound, means he never passed the physical standards for active duty again. I'm sorry, Agent Collins. Max's career is over. Sarah sat heavily, processing this. Max was alive. That was everything. But he'd never work again, never serve beside her, never be her partner in the field. Can I see him? Of course. The recovery room was quiet except for the steady beep of monitors. Max lay on a padded table, unconscious but breathing steadily. His chest was wrapped in bandages and intravenoso running into his legislation. Sarah pulled a chair close and took his paw gently. Hey, partner, you did it. You saved the President. You saved everyone. You going to be okay. Her voice broke. Even if you never work another mission, even if this is the end of your career, you are still my hero. You always be my hero. Behind her, Bond spoke quietly. The summit concluded successfully. All 23 world leaders are safe. The Syndicate S operation has been dismantled, and Volkov is in custody. M6 is calling it the most successful counter-terrorism operation in a decade. All because of you and Max. We had help, Sarah said, not taking her eyes off Max. Yes, but you were the catalyst. You proved that the new 007 is every bit as capable as the old one. Maybe more so, because you know when not to kill. That wisdom I took yours to learn. What happens now? Now, you recover. Max recovers. And when you both ready, we give you your next assignment. Sarah finally turned to look at him. But Max can take the field work, no. But he can train other Kappa 9 units, can consult on operations, can live a good life after years of exceptional service. And you Bond smiled slightly. You 007 now, Sarah. With or without a Kappa 9 partner, that number is yours. You owned it. It does not feel owned. It feels like I got lucky. Luck is what you make of opportunity. You made the most of every opportunity, faced impossible odds, and came out victorious. That not luck, Agent Collins. That skill. That courage. That what being 007 means. Sarah looked back at Max, watching his chest rise and fall. She thought about everything they'd been through 7 years as Kappa 9 partners, 3 weeks of training, and one impossible mission that had nearly cost them both their lives. Yeli accept the next assignment, she said finally, but I need Jimmy first. Jimmy with Max. Jimmy to make sure he is okay. Jimmy to figure out what comes next for both of us. Take all the Jimmy you need, Bond said. You on the tour. 2 months later, Sarah stood in her new apartment provided by M6 a quiet Atlanta neighborhood. Max lay on a custom orthopedic bed, his wounds fully healed but his days of tactical operations behind him. He'd adapted well to retirement, content to be Sarah's companion rather than her field partner. But Sarah could see in his eyes that he missed the work, so she'd found a solution. 3 times a week, she brought him to the M6 training facility where new Kappa 9 units were being developed. Max might not be able to run and fight anymore, but he could teach. His presence alone elevated the training program, Young dogs learned from his calm authority what it meant to be an elite working dog. Sarah's phone buzzed. A message from Moneypenny. New assignment when you he ready. Low intensity. Perfect foot easing backy. Sarah looked at Max, who raised his head at the sound of her phone. What do you think, boy? Are we ready? Max's tail wagged once his signal for yes. Sarah smiled and typed back. Send me the briefing. Agent 007 is ready for deployment. Because that was the truth Bond had taught her. Being 007 wasn't about being perfect. It wasn't about never getting hurt or always winning. It was about standing up when the world needed you, regardless of the cost. She'd lost her partner in the field but gained something far more valuable: the knowledge that she could face the impossible and survive. That she could carry the weight of that legendary number. You're not those who they carried it before. Sarah Collins was 007 now. And whether with Max at her side or carrying his memory in her heart, she would continue to serve, continue to protect, and continue to prove that legends could be born in the most unexpected places. The legacy had been passed. It was eager hands. Outside, Atlanta's skyline glittered in the evening light. A city that had nearly fallen to terrorism but stood strong because of two unlikely heroes. A Kappa 9 officer who became a spy, and a loyal dog who taught her that true courage wasn't about being fearless. It was about being afraid and doing it anyway. Together, they had changed what it meant to be 007. And the world would never see them coming. The end.